You may have heard about countless mysterious incidents by now, whether they involve time travel, aliens, or paranormal events. But today, I'm going to tell you about a mystery so astonishing that it will leave you stunned and make you think deeply. So, hold on tight and watch this video. The story begins in 1997 in a place called Manistash Ridge in Washington State, USA. There was an old piece of land owned by a man named Mel Waters. On this land was a mysterious hole that looked like a well but wasn't one. Before Mel, the people who lived there used the hole as a dumping ground for trash. Mel continued this practice, throwing broken items, old tires, and even a broken fridge into it. Over time, Mel noticed something strange. The hole never seemed to fill up. Then he started observing even weirder things. His dogs refused to go near the hole. When forced to approach it, they would dig their paws into the ground as if their lives depended on staying away. His radio would pick up strange signals near the hole. Mel began to suspect that the hole might have no bottom at all. The hole was about 9.5 feet wide, with a stone retaining wall that extended about 15 feet down, followed by nothing but darkness. Mel, who was also a fisherman, had a long fishing line. He tied a weight to it and lowered it into the hole. The first time the line went down 4,500 feet, but there was no sound of it hitting the bottom or water. Mel wasn't one to give up. He had several spools of line, each with 5,000 feet. He kept attaching them and lowering them into the hole. By the time he ran out of line, it had reached about 24 kilometers, or roughly 15 miles deep, yet the bottom was still nowhere to be found. Mel was now convinced this was no ordinary hole, and even his neighbors thought it was strange. One neighbor shared a bizarre story. He said that some time ago his pet dog had died, and he threw its body into the hole. A few days later he saw the same dog running through the nearby woods, wearing the same collar. But when he called its name, the dog didn't recognize him, as if it were someone else's dog, or from another world. Mel needed answers about this mysterious hole. He reached out to a famous radio show called Coast to Coast AM, hosted by Art Bell. The show, listened to by millions across America, discussed UFOs, paranormal events, and mysteries. On February 21, 1997, Mel called Art Bell for the first time, and that's when the story of Mel's hole reached the world. But the very next day, something strange happened. When Mel returned to his property, the road was blocked. Military helicopters were hovering, soldiers were on the ground, and heavy machinery was present. Mel was told there had been a plane crash, and he wasn't allowed to enter. However, he noticed there was no fire or plane wreckage. Nothing indicated a crash. When Mel protested, saying it was his property, a man in civilian clothes approached and said, "This land might not be yours anymore. If you go to the press, we might find a drug lab here." It was a clear threat to force Mel to abandon his land. The situation grew more serious. The military had taken over Mel's property and he was given no access or explanation. The hole became a subject of curiosity for many. Later, Mel called Art Bell's show again and shared that a neighbor had seen a black light emanating from the hole, so dark it was deeper than the surrounding darkness. Art Bell and other callers noted that the area was already known for UFO activity, missing persons cases, and strange events. Some speculated the hole could be a portal to another world. People started coming up with theories. Some said it was built on a ley line, an energy line of the Earth, acting as a portal. Others believed it was a time portal where things vanished into different times. Mel was invited back to the show repeatedly, but one day, when he was supposed to appear, he didn't show up. News spread that someone had offered Mel $3 million annually, on the condition that he leave the land, sign a non-disclosure agreement, and leave the country. Mel accepted the offer and moved to Australia. However, missing his family, he returned to the United States later. Upon his return, strange things started happening again. While traveling by bus, Mel got into an altercation. Police arrived and questioned everyone. Mel was removed from the bus and everything went black. When he regained consciousness, 12 days had passed. He woke up in an alley in San Francisco with his wallet and keys missing and injection marks on his arm. His bank accounts were empty, and there was no evidence of what he had experienced. Around this time, a news story emerged. A Native American tribe in Nevada contacted Mel, asking if he'd like to research another mysterious hole. The second hole was similar, about 9 feet wide, but it had metal rings and layers inside. It was located on public land near a native reservation where an ethnic Basque community grazed their animals. Mel and the Basque people began experimenting with the hole. They lowered a bucket of water into it, and when they pulled it out, the water had turned to ice, but not ordinary ice. It wasn't wet, cold, or melting. The hole's mysterious powers were becoming undeniable. The next experiment was so terrifying it gave everyone chills. A Basque man offered to go down into the hole to see what was at the bottom. Since this was too dangerous, Mel and the others refused and decided to send a sheep instead. They placed a sheep in a sturdy crate and lowered it 1,000 feet into the hole. When they pulled the crate back up, the sheep was dead. It appeared fine on the outside with no visible injuries, but inside its body was filled with a tumor-like mass. When they cut into the tumor, a strange creature emerged, resembling a fetal seal but with human-like eyes. It stared at them and slowly moved toward the edge of the table as if trying to return to the hole. Mel placed it near the edge and it jumped back into the hole. Everything Mel had seen, felt, and endured was like something out of a sci-fi movie. Art Bell urged Mel to share any photos, videos, or recordings he had collected and bring the truth to the world. Mel promised to return to Nevada, gather evidence, and reveal everything on the next show. But when the day of the show arrived, Mel didn't show up. He had vanished again. Repeated calls went unanswered, and soon his phone number was disconnected. Questions arose. Had Mel been kidnapped or silenced, or was this all an elaborate hoax? It's believed that secret agencies have hidden these holes, and they've even been removed from Google Earth. Since Mel Waters disappeared the second time, no one has heard from him. The mystery of Mel's hole remains unsolved. Were these mysterious holes real, or was it a fabricated story by Mel Waters? Could they be portals to another world, like a wormhole? This story of Mel Waters is one of the most compelling and bizarre tales in internet history. Friends, what do you think? How much truth could there be in Mel Waters' story? Do you believe the government and secret agencies are hiding the secrets of these holes from the world? Share your thoughts in the comment box below. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more mysterious videos like this.